Let's move on. There's a third-string quarterback in the National Football League who thinks he's better than, half the starters in the NFL. And guess what? His name is Shedeur Sanders. Let's hear from Shedeur as he takes a poop on the starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
That's not nothing, in my place to answer. That's nothing I can't not answer, but I know for sure I'm not I know if you see the quarterback play in the league right now, I know I'm capable of doing better than that.
But Steve, are you familiar with the clip that I'm talking about here?
Yeah,
where
I've heard about it.
It's part of that conversation. Yeah.
Well, other content creators done
Go
videos.
ahead.
Jake, I've never seen a third-string quarterback who doesn't even dress up get this much attention during the regular season. Again, it is further confirmation why a lot of teams just said, forget it. We're not bringing this. There's already enough of a circus during the regular season without him. We don't need to bring in another big tent. And look, I think it's a little unfair given the fact if someone asks an athlete a question, they're going to answer it. And sometimes things are taken out of context or it's used for content. I don't know what we really expect Shedeur to say at this point other than no comment. But here's the issue, though. He says no comment, and then that becomes a story, the no comment.
I don't know. A third-string quarterback typically says, yeah, I'm just doing the best I can to support the team in any way that I can. Any other questions? Yeah, I'm just trying to do the best I can to support the team in any way that I can. And if my number's called, I'll be ready.
Yeah, the man, I know if you see the quarterback play in the league right now, I know I'm capable of doing better than that.
Yeah.
You're third string. And, whether I play or not, that's out of my control. Well, actually, it's not. You had some say-so in that during the preseason, during the pre-draft process.
During the draft, when you told teams you didn't want to go back up Lamar Jackson.
When you built that shrine to yourself on draft day. But anyway, I know if you see quarterbacks play in the league right now, I know I'm capable of doing better than that. If the shoe were on the other foot, because remember how Dylan Gabriel said something about, hey, I'm not an entertainer, and everybody went in there, oh, you must be talking about Shedeur. And that was a controversy. Someone could go to Joe Flacco and say, is Shedeur talking about you? You could read this, hey, if you look around at the quarterback play, I'm capable of doing better than that. That could be a direct shot at Joe Flacco.
And it is, obviously. Of course it is. Of course it is. Who else could you be talking about? He's got pretty intimate knowledge about what's happening.
Spencer Rattler.
Okay, all right. He was talking about Spencer Rattler.
Michael Penix.
Of course he's talking about it. He's talking about a guy that won a Super Bowl 15 years ago. That's how old Joe Flacco is.
Yeah. Steve, is he taking a direct shot at Joe Flacco?
I think he's taking a direct shot at a group of quarterbacks that, now that I think about it, may actually include the guy he sees every day. All right, but I'm actually curious to see it now. Given how bad he looked in that game against the Rams about 5-6 weeks ago, now you're playing against the first string, guys with livelihoods on the line, and the speed of the game is even greater, right? Because there's preseason football and then there's regular season football. Guys, there's a morbid curiosity. I actually want to see Coach Prime's prophecy come to life. I want to see Shedeur actually start a game this year as soon as possible.
I think that Shedeur Sanders clearly wants to play a game this year. He's basically trying to speak it into existence, a trade. Hey, you teams out there that are struggling at the quarterback position, particularly, and here's who I think he's really talking about. Tua Tagovailoa down in Miami. If I were down there, Mike McDaniel, I could save your job throwing the ball to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I think he's trying to stir up trade interest, and he's shocked that no one's interested in trading for him. And part of the reason why no one's interested in trading for him is because he won't shut up. He won't play the role that he's actually in right now. Hey, I'm a backup quarterback. Let me behave like a backup quarterback. People see you do that, and maybe he can behave like a second-string quarterback, and maybe he can behave like a starting quarterback. And then one day, maybe he'll prove to be this Hall of Fame talent or whatever, but I've seen no proof. He can't play the role that he's in right now. That doesn't give me confidence he could play a different role.
He's exactly the guy that everybody passed on for 5 straight rounds. And if the Browns didn't take him, he would have gone undrafted. I truly 100% believe that. I think the Browns are the only team stupid enough to take him. There's nobody that wanted to deal with this in the roster. Now, mid-season now, eventually, will somebody give him a chance? Their quarterback position, head coach is trying to save his job, a GM's trying to save their job, will they take a flyer? Maybe. But when you're going into playing your team, you don't want to deal with this. Why would anybody want to be anybody trying to win right now who doesn't have him as their starter? The only way you can bring him in is to start right now. Nobody will take him to come back up and have a loudmouth and then have Deion spouting off from Colorado about it's just a matter of time, we're biding our time, here he comes. Why would you want to deal with that?
Justin Kraut, one of our producers, young guy, made an excellent point that the problem is Kyler Murray is such a bad leader that he doesn't elevate anybody else. He doesn't, that the reason why Marvin Harrison is perhaps underachieving is because they got such a lame leader at the quarterback position that it's just hard for Marvin Harrison and any of these receivers to be consistently good. There's a lot of people said he cut short a route, and TJ, I don't know if you saw this play, an interception Kyler Murray threw, but Kurt Warner, I thought, had an interesting breakdown. It's like Marvin Harrison was trying to read whether Kyler Murray was about to run, and he took a couple of false steps preparing maybe to block. But anyway, Marvin Harrison, Steve, this was a guy in college that everyone saw as a can't miss. It's Marvin Harrison Sr.'s son. He's got more size than his dad. Everyone thought he was going to be the next Larry Fitzgerald. That's not happening so far. Who do you blame?
Well, here's my view of it. Marvin Harrison Jr. does not have Marvin Harrison Sr.'s speed or burst, and creating separation has been an issue. Talking to anyone that has studied the Ohio State tape, like the former coach at Ohio State, Zach Smith, he does a weekly breakdown. He said it 2 years ago, and he's an Ohio State fan. And he said Marvin Harrison has issues creating separation. That's why a lot of people preferred Malik Neighbors in that draft class, because he had more top-end speed. But Jason, to your point, do I believe Kyler Murray plays a part in this? Yes. Yes, because he does not get the ball off on time consistently, and that has to be a frustrating way to play wide receiver. Now, the issues of separation, I think TJ could talk about it better than I can. He's still not creating a lot, but what he can be is a big-bodied receiver that's going to have to make his share of contested catches in traffic, which he did late in that game. But generally, as a receiver, you want the ball to be thrown on time, not this schoolyard scramble ball that he has to put up with too many times.
Yeah. I'm sorry. People got on me yesterday about needing a cough mic. Anyway, I'm tiny bit distracted. Marvin Harrison, I think many people thought they were looking at a Jerry Rice clone. That, hey, he doesn't have that top end speed, but he knows the game so well. He's Marvin's son. His hands are so good. He's got, isn't he like 6'2", 6'3"? He's got great size. I think they wanted to see a Jerry Rice type player, but let's remember, early in his career, Jerry Rice is spoiled by Joe Montana and Steve Young, and then later in his career, he's just Jerry Rice, and it doesn't matter who the quarterback is, and maybe not that it ever did, but that's what I think people thought they were seeing in Marvin Harrison, the second coming or a poor man's Jerry Rice, and what they really have is maybe a homeless man's Jerry Rice.
Vagrant homeless Rice.
Look, the guy's 6'3", 220 pounds, and we don't have a 40 time. He didn't run it at his pro day or.
That's right. I remember. Yeah.
So we don't know how fast he is. So to Steve's point, it's not like you can point and say, well, he's got speed, but it's just not translating. We don't know. We just know he ran away from people at Ohio State. That is true. He was running. He was jumping over people, and he was running away from people. And he's had some good games. It's not like he's just been a total bust. Typically, if you're a receiver that can come in, particularly as a rookie, and have some really big games, and you show those flashes, consistency is another thing. But it's usually quarterback play, and there was nobody. Kyler was hurt a bunch of last year. Didn't he get hurt and miss the back half of last year anyway? And then this year, he's come in, and Kyler is exactly who Kyler is all the time. It's very hard for me to evaluate what people thought would be a transcendent talent when you have a quarterback who, even when, I just rewatched the play you're talking about, even when he does throw, he looks like he's about to run. How do you prepare for that as a wide receiver?
It's tough.
It is, and again, he's so, Steve started to bring this up. You actually can watch this play, and you watch this over and over again. When you're, as a receiver in timing, you know that you need to hit your fourth outside step, push off, and the ball should be there. And then you do that, and you saw it on this play, and the ball should have been there, and he pushed off, and he saw it, and he's like, oh, he's starting to run. And then he stopped, went to block, and then Kyler took 3 steps forward and fired it to the free safety. Okay, that sort of thing. It's like, why are we evaluating Marvin Harrison Jr. here? We should be evaluating how difficult it is to play and why you just need to move on from Kyler Murray.
Help us grow the Fearless Army. Pound that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with all your fearless friends.